everyone, and welcome to another episode of Just My Thoughts. Who is as excited as I am for another episode? Okay, let's get right into it. So today what we're going to be doing is a bit of shaking of the tables. Who has help me with drum rolls? So we're going to be shaking tables today. What are we going to be talking about? We are gonna be talking about making a voice for yourself. Now I'm going to divert a bit into the international sector. As a proud student of history and international studies, I think I do know a bit about the international system. I think I do know a bit, so please don't come for me. I think I do know a bit about the international system, and I am talking about making a name for yourself. Now, in the United Nations Organization, which is an international organization in the international system, I think most of us should be familiar with that. It is divided into several parts, but I'm going to be talking about two major parts today, and that's the General Assembly and the Security Council. This General Assembly is made up of every member of the United Nations, like every single member of the United Nations. And this Security Council, well, they have several members, but there are 5 major members. They are called the Big Five, big powers. And you have the United States, you have China, you have Russia, you have France, and you have Britain. So those 5 countries that control, basically the world resources, right? Those 5 countries. So they are the ones in the Big Five. These 5 powers, this Big Five, each of them have something that we call the veto power. That means they can make decisions, and their decisions are binding. That's the way I can at least explain it now. Decisions that are binding. Now imagine the General Assembly coming together. That's hundreds of states of the world coming together, and they are like, okay, we want this, we want that, we want this should be in place, that should be in place. And even for a group of 5 people, it takes a whole lot of time to deliberate on an issue and to come to a conclusion about something. Now imagine hundreds of states of the world putting in their national interest in place and trying to just deliberate on something, this and this and this. No, we don't want this in place in the international system. No, we want this in place and all of that. And they have done. Then they come to a conclusion. Now imagine one of these Big Five, let's say China, comes and is like, I'm so sorry, I want to use my veto power, and every of these decisions that you made is null and void. Yeah. So those Big Five have the power to cancel decision of all the hundreds of states that have come together to actually make a decision. Yes. So what am I trying to bring out of all this is that these Big Five have actually made a name for themselves. So what I'm trying to say, for them to be able to be called the Big Five, for them to be able to be given the veto power, they have made a name for themselves. So making a name for yourself even works out in the international system. Do you know how much of years of power and of several, influence they built? Make a name for yourself. It even works in the international system. Yes, if you are in Nigeria, sorry. If you are an Indian person, sorry. Your country does not really have much to say in the international system, because if Russia comes and says no, everything that you guys have said, null and void, it is null and void. Yeah, they have made a name for themselves to that extent. So even in the international system, there is a factor of making a name for yourself. Make a name for yourself. Now the aspect I want to shake the tables. Yeah, it's the issue of feminism. I think this is the second time I'm coming for feminist on my page. Sorry, y'all should sorry, but this issue is issue that is very strong in my heart. This issue of feminism is very, very strong in my heart, and I just feel like I have to say it. I just have to voice out my thoughts. I just have to say my thoughts about it, really. Because why would some group of people bring themselves together, call themselves feminists and go up on social media and be saying rubbish. Do you know what it means? Sorry, I have to ask you guys. Do you know what the term feminism means? Like feminism. Now, let me, as the history student that I am, let me give you a little bit of backstory. Now, centuries ago, like centuries, way before, there was nothing like the right for women. Exactly. Even when both men and women were suffering 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th century, when women were suffering, when men and women were suffering together, yes, there was nothing like the right for women. Now, several countries like France, Russia, USA begin to revolt. There was revolution, mass revolution in the world, and then they started getting a name for themselves. The citizens started getting a name for themselves and all of that. Then we started having human rights, not exactly human rights in human rights, but there were some rights that could be given to men. Now, after all of that, what was in place with all those revolutions were men universal suffrage. What is men universal suffrage? In the most simplest term I can ever bring it to you is that only men can vote, only men can be voted for. Exactly. Women were not considered humans. They were not considered someone to be fought for, someone to occupy political space. They were not considered people that had the right to own a property. So now there was this woman called Mary Wollstonecraft. So in the year 1792, she wrote a book and she brought it out. And the book is A Vindication for the Right of Women. I think I'm paraphrasing. Sure, Vindication for the Right of Women. Basically, that was what it was. And it was from here that the term feminism was actually like brought out. It was here she was literally called the founder of women, because the things in the book were clamoring for human rights, women, like I'm talking about women rights to own properties, women political rights, women inclusion in classes, meaning there was upper class, lower class, middle class, and every other thing like that. But the women were not in those class systems. So this woman and some other set of people obviously fought for the right of women. Started putting, okay, women need to be included in this, women need to be included in that. And finally, that's what you call feminism. Fighting for the political, social, and economic right of women. Please don't come on social media and start doing all this rubbish. It pisses me off. Sometimes I'm like, how do you even identify with you people as women? See, if you want a name for you, if you want to stand out, if you want people to recognize you, make a name for yourself. Go out there and make a name for yourself. You say, oh, you're in the science field, and if you want me to listen to anything you term feminism, please, it has to be that the political, the economic, and the social right of a girl child or of a woman is being, is being hindered, or what will I even call it? That's what you call, not that as a man, as a woman, I don't know why I will be, please, go and grow up. Okay, so I think I'm calm now. This generation, everything is just going, please, make a voice for yourself, make a voice, just do something different, something new, do something everybody does, but in a different way, in a unique light. Just put yourself out there, is what everybody is saying. Like, there are billions of people on the earth, and we are saying that every single one of that billions should make a voice for themselves. How? There are several people that are into cinematography, but you're saying make your cinematography stand out. Make a voice for yourself. Oh, this aspect of making a voice for oneself can be a bit scary if you actually think about it, because I am making a, you are making a, you are telling me to make a voice for myself and stand out in the making of the air. What do I do differently? So I feel like the aspect of making a voice for yourself in this generation where everybody's doing almost the same thing, everybody's creating content. Seriously, there are a whole lot of YouTubers out there. So what am I doing to make a voice for myself? Okay, this is so scary. Anyhow, so I feel like the aspect of making a difference, making a voice for yourself, is searching deep into your qualities, searching deep into what makes you stand out differently, what makes you stand out uniquely. And seriously, I tell you, that goes a long way into self-development, self-identity, then self-development. If you don't know yourself, if you have not identified your potentials, you cannot develop yourself, then make a name for yourself. So please, let's go back into whole stuff. As let's identify ourselves. As little as self-identification is, it goes a very long way. Then developing yourself, that is very important.